welcome back to another video here in APC Speaks. Welcome to the new season once again. I am your host, the Prime Minister of APC Speaks, Allen Purto. With me today are new guests actually from Life Coach Philippines. We have once again two coaches. We have Coach Candy and we have Coach Tin down here. And they're gonna be my guests today, who are both gonna be joining me with this discussion. So yeah, without further ado, I'll go straight into my pre-question because I feel like this podcast episode is gonna be deep as well. My pre-question is, how are you guys today?
Go, Coach Dean.
Well, I'm great. Everything is okay despite the cough, At times you just wanna speak, but yeah, it's messing you up, but it's okay.
Yan. So, ako naman, I'm doing good. Ganun talaga yun, pretty good actually. I'm very, very excited kasi first time ko, I'm a first timer in Discord and first time ko maka-join actually kay Alex. I'm very, very excited.
And well, I hope that excitement does not go on for too much. You know what I mean?
Yes.
No, excitement's good. Just her excitement sometimes goes far and beyond. For this recording lang naman, don't worry. Ayan, so yung question ko for today, which is always the title of the episode, is as a response to the video that was released last week, how do you as life coaches, as we are, as life coaches, that's part of who you are as a person, but more so I'm talking to as Candy or as Tin. How do you guys, I'm assuming, I would like to hope and assume na at this point in your life you know who you are as a person, like away, despite everything and away from everything, you know who you are as a person. So despite whatever society will say or what happens in the future, or from now to the future, how do you maintain yourself being true to yourself, or how do you maintain your image in a way that you uphold your values despite everything around you?
Yeah, I think I'll go first. You know, that's really a question that even if I'm a life coach, at times it's really hard to answer now. But come to think of it, what's really self-image? Self-image is really how you perceive yourself, and it comes from a number of self-impressions that we have built up over time. So actually, the mental models are in play here kasi we have those mental maps. But for me, as teen, not as a coach, if you compare me to a thing, I'm like a book. You can easily see my thoughts, how I feel. Ano siya eh, I can't keep a poker face. So if I'm mad, you can see that. And I think some of the coaches have witnessed that in Dingap. At times I just walk out, especially when I'm mad at my husband. So they see everything. It's really more of what you see is what you get. Although I don't know if impressions are at play as well. Kasi at times people would say na masungit, parang masungit ako, laging masungit. But when they get to know me, talagang what you see is what you really get. I really express. Pag galit ako, kita mong galit ako. Pag masaya ako, talagang pag ganun din. So, more or less, I think I keep that image. But of course, I think it's hard, no? Sabi nila dapat you have to be who you are. But when it comes to the profession, I have to have a different personality because I have that responsibility. Although andun pa din naman yung mga aspects mo as teen, like you are able to express, pero hindi na pwede yung pag hindi mo nagustuhan yung sinabi ng kausap mo, galit ka din. So parang medyo doon may division kasi nga nasa profession ka.
Mm.
Yun.
I mean, like, I don't see that as a bad thing naman, right? Kasi like, a lot of people tend, ano ba? The idea kasi of having like a separate personality when it comes to the profession isn't necessarily a bad thing, because some people, which I hope is how people see it, some people, which I hope a lot or everyone sees it as, you see that as a way kasi of being able to double check yourself how you can become a better person, right? Kasi it's not really hypocrisy, or it's not really, it's not hypocrisy, or it's not being, not being true to yourself if you're trying to be better, if you're trying to change for the better. Because parang, if for example someone has anger management, yung ganon, right? And then pero like when you remember, wait, life coach ako, like I have to take a step back and reevaluate things better. That's not really hypocrisy. It's just you being a better version of yourself, which I see no problem in whatsoever. Kasi there's still the truth of expression in it, which is what I
Yeah.
got from.
I think you're right there because as I deep dive into the profession, of course, coaching is a lifestyle. So you have to imbibe it to know that to live it. Hindi pwedeng life coach ka but it's very unusual, or it's not really, they can see that in you. So it has to be. So I think the part of being a life coach as well, as personally, like who is teen, I'm able na to manage the emotion. So tama ka doon, it's not really bad na you have a distinction or a separation of who you are when you're at work and at home, or with the normal people, the people you're the close people you're with. But really, I think the right term is being better, kasi you're now able to see the same. Since the profession has taught me a lot, I am also now able to manage those emotions. So yeah, you're right about that. Na it's also a way of keeping the image as well, no? But it's more of still being who you are, kasi nakikita na nila yung change mo as that you have become better in the process. So maganda siya.
Agree ako dyan kay Coach Tino, because usually when you talk about asking people who they are, nandoon kasi yung the challenge and vulnerability, meaning as well, no, yung the ability actually to accept, no, kung ano yung nagawa nila in the past. That's why actually a lot of people are having a hard time, no, defining who they are, because oftentimes pag tinatanong yan, ang nakikita kasi default ng tao is ano yung nagawa nilang nakakahiya. And yung present nila, sino ba ako ngayon? And they forget who they can be right now and who they can be in the future. So I think ano siya, no, that's why it becomes so hard to define talaga na sino ka, di ba? Sino yung image mo? Tapos how do you maintain yourself? Kasi before you even ask, no, on maintaining your image, kailangan kasi kilala mo muna kung sino ka. And when we talk about kung sino ka, who you are, you have to learn how to accept both the past, the present, and who you want to become in the future. So I agree dun sa sinasabi ni Coach Tino and ni Allen, no, that it is part of you, your vulnerability, you as a person being human. It's not hypocrisy. Actually, it's better, no, kasi you become human, ibig sabihin you become relatable to other people. Kasi pag hypocrisy, di ba, usually ano yan, you present yourself na ito yung image mo, but in reality sa likod hindi. Whereas yung sinasabi naman ni Coach Tino is in the profession, kunyari, especially in my case, no, kasi by nature I am very playful. So pag dinala ko yun sa profession, hindi siya pwedeng too much playful. So I have to inject a sense of professionalism doon. But it doesn't mean that it changes who I am. It's still the same. Alam ko pa rin it's still the same values. Yung alam mo yung pagka-playfulness ko lang, medyo tinotone down ko lang yan siya. So it's still the same. It's still me. And then to answer yung image, no, what best represents me, actually yung hair ko. Yun yung sasabi ko, actually it's the hair. Because, and no, for those in case you don't know, from a Chinese background kasi, some Chinese, no, are not really into the idea idea na may iba kang hair color other than like the brown, black. So, pag something na bright, automatically, madaming associations yan eh. Like, if you have colorful hair, automatic nasa K-pop ka, you're into K-pop. Well, I'm actually a fan of BTS though, pero before even BTS happened, naka-purple na talaga yung hair ko, di ba? So, yun siya. Tapos, stigma din na pag ano yan, like, if you have colorful hair, you're weird. Rebelde ka. So, may mga ganun siyang stigma. So, if you don't know who you are, tapos kunyari nag-color ka na ganito, no? Tapos judgment comes in, oftentimes, you get to question yourself. But if you know who you are, no matter what people say, kaya mo siya i-maintain, you can uphold it, and you can stand na, like sa case ko, no, pag nagsasabi, purple, BTS ka, sasabihin ko, yes, I'm an ARMY, pero even before BTS happened, purple na yung hair ko. So, it is actually by choice kasi bagay sa akin. And this is what best represents my personality. So, yun naman yung akin.
One of the things one other way I think you could see that entire thing, like another perspective is, I mean, it's like to everyone who may not know what a life coach is. In a different perspective, it's like having a separate personality for work. The reason why it's not bad is because you then tend to uphold what it is, and then that becomes part of your life, right? So, for example, when you're, I don't know, a gym instructor or you're a doctor, you uphold the same teachings, right? That's the reason why when you're a gym instructor or you teach fitness, you end up being fit, because it, like you become the model of the idea itself, to make sure and to show people that it's the truth. And with what Ate Candy was saying about the fact that, yes, she's an ARMY now, but that's an add-on. There was a completely separate thing first and foremost, na the purple hair this is what I decided me to be, and this is where I see myself as a better person. So having purple hair, it's just a coincidence, if anything, to her liking BTS and being an ARMY. So in connection to that, I mean, I guess I think it's fair to say, and I'm pretty sure it's fair to say, that we're all still going through that journey. Which, I mean, like, I don't think that journey never ends. What? No, I don't think that journey ever ends. As people grow and as we change who we are in the process, we become better versions of who we are. We gain new skills, we get into new situations and atmospheres, and we change, but at the same time, that then calls for us to constantly allow ourselves to see who we are as a person. So I have two questions, but I think the first question then would be, for you guys, what can you say to everyone who is starting off trying to figure out who they are as a person? Like, what words of wisdom, not necessarily words of wisdom, more so like words of encouragement, can you say to push people? Because you can give a lot of like, do this, do that, and most likely people are not going to listen to that. So more so like, what sort of words of encouragement can you say to them, the one listening, about actually giving themselves the chance to explore and learn who they are as a person?
When you're trying to find yourself, it's really a journey, and also there is a process to it. Like, even in my case, when I was already married, I became a mom, I became a wife. Still, there was something that I was trying to find out, because deep inside, I know there's more that I can do. So it's part of my self-image. Maybe it's because of the influences that I have growing up, and the experiences, the struggles that I encountered that made me who I am. So more or less, even if you're trying to find yourself, there would always be that portion in your life na alam mo naman talaga kung sino ka. But maybe you just need to polish it, define it. Or at times kasi confused ka din eh. But somehow, in your subconscious, there is already that self-image na kailangan mo lang hanapin. And one of the best things that you could really think of would be ask yourself what is it in you that makes you different from other people. Most commonly kasi when it comes to self-image, what we want is to compare ourselves and be like someone else. But the truth is, what you really have to do is ask yourself what makes you different from others, because each of us are unique. What like sabihin mo kunwari kami ni Coach Candy, we have parang parehas na traits, but still there would be a distinction. It's what makes Coach Candy, or it's what makes Candy Candy and me Teen. So you have to be able to find that difference, what makes you different from others, and start from that. It doesn't help you comparing with others. So that's the best advice, if you call it an advice. That's the best thing that I can give to those people listening. Stop claiming to be who you are not because you like other people. uh, Focus more on finding the you, what makes you different from others, because that is what technically people likes about you. It's the same in relationship. Parang when you started out, when you started out in a relationship, kung ano ka, yun kasi yung nakita ng partner mo eh. And in the process, if it's lost, like gumagaya ka sa iba, nawawala din yun kasi hindi na ikaw yun. So you have to go back to, it's more of your identity, who you are.
Yeah, I agree kay Coach Tim, no? It's really stop comparing yourself and finding what's unique. Sa term ko kasi unique naman yun. What's yung different ni Coach Tim, no? Sa language ko, it's unique. Find what's unique on yourself, no? And don't apologize for it. Kasi oftentimes, di ba, when you feel like you're different, automatically, nahihiya ka. Parang kakaiba ako, di ba? Why am I different from other people? That's actually something that is very uniquely you. So if you try to be like anyone else, you simply cannot be yourself. Hindi ikaw kasi yun, di ba? Iba yun. Si they yun, others yun, hindi ikaw yun. So you really want to find what's unique about you, what's special with you, and of course, no, very common na yan, no, we can see our weaknesses, we can see our flaws, but really you want to be able to try to see what's good in you. Kasi meron yan, alam yun, sa lahat ginawa na Diyos, meron yan. Even if your mind says na puro bad, really become intentional in searching ano yung good with you. Okay? Kasi I'm sure, no, sa nabuhay kang panahon, I don't know ano yung age mo right now, but example, no, for 18 years, I'm sure for 18 years, kahit ilan, di ba, may nagawa kang maganda, may nagawa kang tama. So you want to be able to really look into that. And kung si Coach Tin sa relationship, no, ako naman in mental health. Because if you keep on trying to be someone who you are not, that will actually cause mental health issues to you, no, eventually. Because malulose mo yung identity mo as a person, and that's what commonly, no, that's what's common with people who suffer mental health challenges. They have dissociation kung sino talaga sila, ano yung voice nila, because they allow other people to dictate who should they become, who they should be, na dapat ganito ka, dapat ganyan ka. So that's something that you really want to look into in order to both get who you are as a person, find out who you are as a person, and to also better take care of your mental health. So na yun naman yung ano ko is really give value to yourself. Wag na muna yung iba, ikaw naman.
Nice. I like that one. I like that ending. Give value to yourself. Yeah. Anyways, that's like foreshadowing to the next video. But so like yung how do I say this now? And to bridge both of yours, right? It's in I'm adding my perspective to I guess it's give yourself, because I say this naman, and I'm gonna say this on the next video rin naman, but then like I said, one of the things I really like saying to people is give yourself the chance to go on a journey to understand yourself. or give yourself the chance to explore and find out your self-expression, things like that. But then, like, more so in this conversation, what fits, I think, more is give yourself the space to explore.
Yeah, true.
Because a lot of times when, like you mentioned, you coached in a while ago, where you get confused. You can get confused about, like, is what I think about who I am really me? Or are these things true, or are they actually accurate? One of the things that could actually help is, giving yourself a different space. Not necessarily just a
Yeah.
different perspective, but a
Yeah,
different
true.
space to explore. A place where you can actually try out and see who you are as a person.
Mhm.
Because most
Yeah.
often than not, sometimes what hinders you from being able to explore, what hinders you from being able to reach a better potential for yourself, is the space you're in. Not having the right people to encourage you, not having the right people to push you, or maybe if you're a bit more introverted, just not having the space to be at peace with yourself, not having the space to think. Uh,
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
one of the biggest hindrances for you to actually know who you are as a person. And, like, it doesn't have to be a grand place, like, for example, if you see, like, celebrities, they have, like, an entire, like, 10 block acre of just meditation room, or, like, they have, like, a 100 feet pool. No, it doesn't have to be like that. It can be as
Yeah.
simple as the floor, if you're happy with the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
CR,
really,
di
like,
ba?
or the CR, yeah. The
Yeah,
CR,
CR
if
is
you're
a
happy.
literal na comfort.
Comfort zone, like comfort room, right there. It's just a space for you to be able to explore, and giving yourself that space, or letting yourself see a place like that, is, I think, no, I know will truly help. And in connection as well for what they said, like, you don't copy others, which, I mean, like, what's the point of copying others if that's already taken? you know
Yeah.
like, who's gonna take you then? ah Never mind.
Ah!
um
Correct.
Hashtag
um
But
quote.
I think also the confusion also comes from all the voices that we hear.
mm,
Parang we tend to listen to all the voices. Well, the most important voice that you have to listen to is yourself. So I think that would also um that would also mean the space that you occupy, who are the voices that are there. So yun, I think that would also help you
mm,
in finding out the true you, the self-image.
yeah.
Start of course with knowing your words and listening to your voice.
mm,
Ikaw muna dapat talaga.
I remember si Moana, di ba? Yung may kanta siya. Si
it's
Moana talaga eh.
Try mo
calling.
nga.
It's calling! Di ba?
Yeah.
Gumagano. Kasi siya
Yep.
yun eh. Yun yung
Yeah.
sarili niyang voice na nagko-call sa kanya, nagbe-beckon sa kanya na, uy, listen to me. Stop listening to other people. Give time to listen to me. And yun siya, no? So, pag tinignan mo din yung story ni Moana, nag-set out siya on an adventure. And hindi naman swift yung and smooth yung adventure, di ba? Puro
Mm,
may mga failure siya. And it's the same with the process of really discovering yourself. Kaya siya discovery eh. Kaya siya discovery because you have to discover bits and pieces of yourself even if you fail. Ang importante doon is you went on that journey. So,
mm.
ginawa mo siya para sa'yo and you listen to the voice.
I I I had to cross-reference it to Frozen 2. She
Yeah.
watched
Ay,
Frozen 2,
OMG!
right?
Oo nga.
Thank you.
Oo
It's
nga.
it's the that part where she kept hearing the,
Ah!
and it's just like echoes over and over again. But yeah, no,
You
it
have to
has
hear
the
that
exact same thing.
voice.
Yeah, it has
Yeah,
the
true,
exact same
true.
thing. Like, she had an entire song at the first half where she was like, "No, I'm not listening to you," blah blah. It's like problems, whatever. And then at the second half of it, she was just like, "Maybe you understand, and maybe you actually know that where you are is where I'm also supposed to be." Sometimes that voice is the voice inside of you, telling you that, hey man, this is like what you need. Why are you not taking it, or things like that? Yeah, there, no. So don't copy others. But I mean, but it's not okay. You can have them as reference. That's not bad.
Reference.
Like, it's not bad to have them as reference. I'd be like, oh, I like being cool, or like, how does this person stay chill? how does they stay, like how do they stay the way that they are? Like I don't know, like what person does not have bashers? Like Keanu Reeves, you guys know
Oh
Keanu Reeves.
yeah.
Yeah, like why is Keanu Reeves like really cool and chill? You know, like what about it? Like you can have that. You don't be Keanu Reeves, but like you can have it as reference as, for example, one of the things I really genuinely like about him is how gentleman he is. One of the things I really appreciate from him is how he still upholds that chivalry of like the floating, what do you call that thing? The hover, the you know how when like you take pictures, and then like guys put their hands around the waist of the girls. No, that's normally how you take pictures, right? When guys and girls are together, and then like the guy has like the arm around the girl's
Hindi
waist.
siya nagtatouch.
Yeah, no, that his is hovering. That's another
Yeah,
aspect
hovering
of
lang.
like that's another aspect of a gentleman's like action, things like that. Like that you could have that as a reference as well, and then you can copy that aspect, but don't copy Keanu Reeves. Copy aspects that actually fit you as a person. Things
Yeah.
that makes you a better version of who you are. And if, for example, you struggle to see what is genuinely good for you, no, sorry, what's good in you, like what Ate Candy was saying about like your past holding you back, it's not a bad idea to ask people who genuinely care about you what's good about you. Sometimes
True.
like an outside voice like that helps. I mean, yes, you know yourself better than anyone else, but people can be clouded with ideas of negativity inside of their own head, and so having an external force or external voice that tells you what good you do in life,
Mhm.
it goes a long way. That also reminds us that despite everything or whatever negativity you tell yourself, you actually did some good in your life, and it's just a matter of you asking and looking for people who will actually tell you.
Yeah, it's the same, no, Allen, with talents and skills. Especially yung age. I think na yan yung age nyo, no? Wow, age nyo.
Pa.
Age natin. Age natin, okay. I'm included in that age.
Go
But
lang.
oftentimes, diba, ano yung talents ko, ano yung skills ko, you can go around and ask like 10 people that you know. Because oftentimes kasi talents, no, especially when you talk about talent, it comes very natural to you. So oftentimes, nadi-dismiss natin yan. But if you ask people around you, no, they will be able to present you a lot, and you'll get to really discover yourself as well.
Yeah, that basically bridges over to when Coach Tin mentioned about having the right people around you. Yeah, that's that. Because like if you don't find the right space and the right people, then you're gonna get the wrong things as well. So
True.
that's why it's a journey to find out who you are as a person, because it's not really just a journey about you knowing who you are as a person, but it's also a journey of knowing what kind of people you want to be surrounded with. So my second question, when I said I had two questions, is now let's say you're in a perspective or you're in a point of your life that you know who you are, right? You know who you are now. How do you, for both of you, how do you uphold who you are then? Like, how do you, like you personally, how did you and how do you continuously still uphold who you are as a person, and with like a future proof kind of idea, like so it doesn't, like it's not just for now, but then like it's like a filter or like a dam, yeah, to like make sure that lies or attacks does not really go through and hit you immediately, so you change the way that you are as a person.
Yung knowing who I am or how do I keep it at this point, I think this is where life coaching has helped me a lot. Earlier we said that self-image is actually a journey. Finding yourself is a journey. So, and it doesn't stop because every day, of course, we learn new skills, we learn new things. So at times we adapt. We get to do what we have learned. So in the process, there would always be discovery a new you that you will discover. But here, how I can protect myself as well to be who I am, that is where life coaching has given me that opportunity, because it in the things that we do, it allows me to see who I am. I always get to a point where I have to reflect, like when we talk with Master Coach, there are questions that she asked that keeps me thinking and really deep dive into who I am. So, meron kang you may call it a checklist, a manifesto, but it's really more of every day you get to discover who you are, you get to know what else you can do and how you can be better. So my parang kumbaga sa government may check and balance eh.
Hmm.
So you check, so you get to moments of reflection, you check, and then you balance it with the action and the learnings that you get. So sa akin ganun siya for me to be able to keep the me and be better in the process. Kasi kahit anong gawin mo, hindi ka naman talaga pwedeng what you call, be halimbawa
Stagnant.
you already know who you are, no? Hindi ka naman pwedeng ganun ka lang because you have to grow. Tama si Coach Candy yung term, you cannot be stagnant because that means life that means you have not discovered who you are kasi alam mo sa sarili mo na may journey ka, may process, may purpose ka. So if you stop that, that means you're not being true to yourself. That means you really don't know yourself. So yun siya para sa akin.
True, no? Like sabi nga ni Allen kanina, di ba, it's a never-ending journey. It actually is a never-ending journey, no? Discovering yourself, improving yourself. So that's actually how you maintain yourself, no? Kasi when you talk about maintain, ang iniisip ng tao is you maintain in the current. But actually, you improving is a way for you to actually maintain yourself. Kasi if you look at it, diba, you cannot really be stagnant in life because life continues to move forward. So technically, if you're stagnant, you're getting left behind. So technically, kahit nag-improve ka, but you stop, since life moves forward, you stay stuck, nagde-decline ka. So that's something that you want to look into kasi life continues to move forward. So, hello, Coach Rizal. So, continuous dapat yung improvement mo. And what really helped me is as well, no, same kay Coach din, it's life coaching. With especially ang coach ko, di ba si Master Coach? Hello, Master. Hey, Mom. Then joke. Mom niya. Hey, Mom. Nakikimom. But really, no, kasi we all have a picture of who we want to become in the future. And although we are continuously, let's say you're continuously improving on the present, as you improve, alam mo yung picture ng best self mo in the future, it actually evolves as well. Kasi you get stronger, you get wiser in life, di ba? Nag-i-improve din the way you communicate with other people, the way you build relationships. Nag-i-improve yan. So technically, it's a non-stop process. So technically, yun talaga siya. You cannot stop. You really cannot stop. It's just a simple life in itself is a journey of self-discovery and self-encounter. Kasi iba yung na-discover mo sa sarili mo, iba yung in-encounter mo because encounter is you embracing yourself. That's what encountering. Kasi pwede naman, di ba, uy, na-discover ko ganito ako, but you cannot accept it. You cannot embrace it. That's why many people fail as well, no? Doon sa pag-grasp ng sino talaga sila when it comes to image. Kasi they don't get to encounter themselves. They don't get to embrace themselves. And when you talk about embracing, lahat talaga yan. Even yung mga nakakahiyang parts mo, nakakatawang parts mo, lahat yan kasama yan.
Yeah. I'm gonna foreshadow a little bit to a topic that's gonna be on the video after this. One of the foreshadowing topics I'm gonna be giving is the idea that don't be, how do I say this? Don't always chase the idea of being perfect. Like every single thing that you do has to be perfect. It in this entire thing, especially when it comes to finding out who you are as a person and what you want to do in life, allow yourself failure.
True.
Allow yourself to fail. Actually, it's one of the things, I don't know, to anyone who watches anime or whatever, a little bit of a spoiler, there's this anime called Food Wars, and at the very end of the entire anime, one of the things he mentions that, like the main character, he mentions that the reason why he became such a good chef and he is where he is because he knows one flavor that a lot of people don't, and it's called the taste failure. because the taste of
Oh.
failure is exactly where you get to build up on. Because
True.
I've mentioned, I don't know if I've mentioned this to a podcast prior, but the idea of, I always believe that every experience is not a waste. Not a single one. Not a single one. Despite the fact that a lot of them you could probably have gone your entire life without. You probably could have lived your life without having to experience that kind of experience. But not a single one of any of those experiences are a waste. Because there will always be a part of that win or loss that will then help you build up on the things that you're gonna be doing in the future, and more so focusing on the idea, let yourself, allow yourself to fail, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let yourself.
It's where it's
Yes.
where you actually grow, no? Pag
Mm.
nagfe-fail ka. And it's actually what makes life exciting and fun. Yung
Oh, yeah.
failure. Kasi isipin mo, di ba,
Way,
pag perfect,
way
parang,
more.
it's way too boring pag perfect. Kasi alam mo yun,
It's exhausting
everything is
too,
just
so.
rigid. Oo.
Oh,
Oo.
yeah.
So, it's really fun. Saka I'm in failure kasi, I don't know, but I enjoy, bloopers. Bloopers ang tawag
Oh
doon.
yeah.
Even when you create movies, di ba, may mga failures, yung bloopers, masaya siya tingnan. So when you look through life, that's what makes life exciting and fun, actually.
Yeah. And yung failure kasi, well, it can be a failure, but it can also be a struggle. So it will really depend on the decisions that you make. And since we're humans, it's really very impossible for us to make perfect decisions. There would always be those moments that we can commit mistakes, we make the wrong decisions. And it's really more of those, whatever those failures and struggles are, it always do something in our character, which also creates or give us that self-image. Kasi there are lessons learned from it.
Mm.
So yun siya, parang kung titingnan mo, syempre naman, most of us don't want failures, right? Or
Mm.
ayaw natin na may gusto natin yung decision pero mali pala yung ending. We cannot predict that. Ang ano lang kasi dun is how are we really looking at the failures? And I think it's really more of us looking at ano bang meron doon. Anong meron dun sa failure? Ano yung lesson? Kasi kailangan natin tingnan yung lesson because that lesson is also giving us that character to keep our self-image.
Yeah.
It I think one of the things with failure too, that people tend to miss is the creativity that comes out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's bring in, since we're in the topic of Disney and basically shows like that. Let's bring in a more recent show. No, Encanto.
Encanto.
Isabel.
That's a great.
You know how is spoilers to everyone who hasn't watched it yet.
I want to
Oh,
watch
no.
that because people
Yeah.
are talking about it.
Well,
I haven't watched it yet.
yeah, 'cause so,
Coach Dean, I'm going to spoil it for you.
I'm gonna spoil it a little bit too. It's it's the
okay.
idea of, kasi okay, so one of the siblings of Mirabel, so there's two of them, right? So they're
Perfect.
super strong, and then there's Isabel, who's the perfect one,
Yeah.
and she has had that pressure of always keeping everything perfect, which then hinders her creativity, her growth,
Mm.
because not being seeing everything always in a perfect light allows you, or no, hinders you from being able to see the improvements that you can make. If everything's always perfect, then no, here, if the light is always shining so bright and you don't see the shadows, then how do you know how bright the light is?
Yeah, true. That's what.
So in this perspective, like being able to perceive the shadow allows you to see that, okay, no, my life, despite of it being this dark, is actually really this bright, because this is the shadow it casts. So the bigger the shadow, the bigger the light is. That kind of perspective on life, which then transcends to your failures. Yeah, so with that being said, do you guys have any goodbye messages for the people who are watching?
Meron akong goodbye message pero kay Coach Dean.
Ay, wow, okay.
gusto ko lang i-spoil yung hindi, joke lang. Alam mo ba yung na-create niya doon, Coach Tin, out of the failure? Hindi,
Oh
joke
my,
lang.
It's okay.
no?
You know what? I
You
actually
forgot,
don't want
Alin?
spoilers because I don't want to. But still, I'm gonna watch it even if it's spoiled
Ay,
for
sige,
me.
sige,
Oh,
spoil
you're gonna
ko.
enjoy it. You're gonna enjoy it either way.
Kasi di ba
Yeah.
when you talk about perfection, kasi yung isa sa powers ni Isabel is to create no flowers, di ba, Allen?
Mm.
Flowers siya, and we all know, di ba, yung mga flowers dapat makulay, maganda siya. So, doon sa inis niya at naging siya, she embraced yung pagiging imperfect niya. Nakapag-create siya ng cactus. So
Ah, yeah.
cactus is a different kind, 'di ba? A different kind siya ng plant, but it
Yeah.
still is beautiful. So doon niya nakita, tapos nakapaglalabas siya ng mga tawag dito, yung mga paints, no, yung mga color ng paints. So nagkaroon mas maging creative, mas naging makulay and diverse yung buhay niya. So yun yung sinasabi ni Allen. So it's the same, no, for our viewers, listeners. Oo, for those here in the Discord, no, it's the same in life, no. If you really want to go into knowing your image, you have to go on a discovery journey. And when you talk about discovery, it's not just accepting wins, but it's as well accepting failures, because it's in the failures you get to see what you can improve upon, how you can become better, especially in terms of character building. It's a very, very important, and the relationship building. Kasi oftentimes, especially when you talk about relationship, no, pag mag-failure, natatakot yung tao to go into another relationship, be it friendship, be it romantic, sa family, di ba? Natatakot na magkamali. But you have to see that there's a gem, no? There's a gem in failure, that you can do something better, that you can be better. Hindi ibig sabihin, no, nag-fail ka, wala ka ng pag-asa sa buhay. It's the other way around. You have failed, that's why you can become better, you can become stronger. And of course, di ba, if you need help in getting into the discovery phase, then you can connect to Allen or connect with us. Ayan.
Okay, more work for me. Yeah,
Yes,
no,
more
what's that? Like, I forgot. There was something about failure that I was thinking of mentioning. Yeah, alright, we're just gonna move on from that. Yes,
Yeah.
Coach Tin, go on. Maybe I might
For
remember.
me, yeah. So since sinabi na ni Coach Candy ang cactus, so let me leave you with this. The wisdom of the cactus. Be a
What,
cactus.
taray.
You know,
Okay.
because the cactus symbolizes endurance. It
Mm.
has stand up
True.
the test of time and the elements. And just like it also blooms flower, and the flower symbolizes the love. It's like a maternal love because it can thrive in harsh conditions. So in life, be a cactus. Life will not always give us pleasant things. Well, technically, life is a race, but enjoy the journey and um, accept whatever it is, because it also tests your endurance. Sabi ko nga kanina, di ba, whatever struggles we have, whatever failures we have, it's part of building us, because it's giving us the character that we need to stand up every struggle that we encounter. So, what's important really is going back to yourself, going back to listening to the voice that is in you, not to the voices of other people. And of course, the space is really very important. So if you're looking for that place, visit us at the Coffee Republic.
Ah, there was the subtle advertisement I was waiting for. But yeah, no, in totality of the entire thing, it's I guess for my end now, my ending message then would be you know how people say that, like, it's one of those things where you enjoy, like, it's not just the end, but it's the journey along the way kind
Yeah.
of situation. It's self-discovery, and basically all of this in wrap up is your goal, and what happens at the very end, that makes it a lot more significant. It makes it a lot more fulfilling, and it just feels a lot better. That end feels a lot better when you've actually enjoyed the journey along the way. and you've
True.
actually allowed yourself to absorb everything along the way. Because like we've had that all the time, you know, like we've had it on our own where we got the ending we needed, we got no, we got the ending we wanted, but we didn't like the process, so we hated it still. We were still unsatisfied. So in that way, you'll never be satisfied if that's how you're seeing life. So yes, as much as the end goal is important, learn to enjoy and see the journey in a whole new perspective, that it is as important as the goal itself. With that said, thank you to Coach Candy and Coach Tin for joining me today on this episode. I hope you guys learned something. I know that the topics have been a little bit more deep than what they were before, but again, I like talking about topics that no one wants to talk about. Because if no one's gonna be talking about them, then who will? So I will. Hate me if you want to.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Uh,
That's self-image.
that's self-image right there. Oh, I know. Yeah, no. I want to talk about things that people are afraid to talk about. So if there are topics and or ideas that you guys can't find the right avenue or place to talk about because you're afraid, embarrassed, or whatever, this is a safe place to talk about it too. And I will. Yeah, no, we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about as long as it's respectful to everyone else. So write it down in the comment section below, and I'll talk about it if it fits the topics that I will have in the next following weeks. I am once again your host, the current Prime Minister of APC Speaks, Allen Purto. This is once again Coach Candy. This is down here, Coach Tin. And I will link Life Coach Philippines, and I think I'm gonna link their pages as well downstairs. Downstairs. Yeah, I called description downstairs.
Downstairs.
Just remind, give me your link so I'll remember to put it in the description. Yeah, with that being said, thank you once again for joining us on this episode. I hope you support constantly and until the following videos that happens right after. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.